Hi, this is Carol and welcome to my studio. This is the Freeform Abstract number 3 painting and I've named it Mind Exercise. And I'll explain that as we go through the painting. My base coats that I'm applying are in the area of the pastels. I'll be blending all of these colors throughout the painting. As you notice, I'm really toning down a lot of the vibrant colors with the titanium white mix that I have. The background of this painting is done very pastel, and my foreground objects that I'm applying, the objects or the forms, will be done in a more deep, true to value color. This will be somewhat of a hard edge painting, but definitely keeping in mind that the free form will play throughout. Okay, I've got a mixture of the medium cadmium yellow blended in with my sap green. It's giving me my very, very light green. I love that combination because it is a very bright color. Okay, we'll just continue to watch me paint. And my technique is pretty simple. I'm using mostly a brush. I use the short handle, wide bristle brush. It's nice for getting some defined outlines. In a few of my other abstract paintings, I talked quite a bit about the composition of my abstracts and the fact that I usually don't draw out any design before I start. Now, I have done that though in the past. There are a few paintings that I've done that I sat and did a drawing on my forms. But this is kind of what I was referring to in the very beginning of this painting when I named it Mind Exercise. This is such a good technique not to have a drawing on an abstract, but just start painting and stand back periodically and look to see what you've done. Look at your colors, look at your forms, look at where you want to highlight, where you want to define depth, where you want to have shadows. And that is such a good experience for you to learn on abstract painting. And also, it's just definitely a wonderful mind exercise. It keeps you thinking throughout the whole painting. And it's okay if you draw something, you paint something, and then you decide that you don't like it, so you redo that section. Now you'll notice my one area in which I've got my magenta and I've got some dark lines going through. I was going to leave that, but the further I got through this painting, I decided not to. I changed that look. So that's an example there of how you can put something in and then change it, take it out. And I think that's the beauty of the abstract painting, that it just continually is changing. And on this painting, I do want to keep in mind that I want it to be very brilliant. And as you see, I'm working with colors that are going to give me that effect. And I also want to remind you that I'm working on a canvas that I prepared with that heavy gel and saran wrap. So that's giving me a rough surface and great for dry brushing or using the palette knife. And I will, in this painting, come back later in the painting and use my palette knife and scrape on some of my paint. And then you'll definitely be able to see the different thickness of that gel. Also, my technique, whether I'm painting realism or abstract or impressionism, I paint in layers. I'm just that type of artist that I like a lot of paint on my canvas. If I wanted to paint a form and have it one color, I could go ahead and put a lot of that color right on my brush, swipe it on my canvas, and have a thick layer. But I'd rather put a light layer down first and then come back and put a darker color and use a smaller brush like I just did there on that one stripe, and what I'm doing right now. And that way you've got a painting that has a lot of depth and different shades, different values throughout. But again, there are paintings that I have done a solid colored form with no shading or shadows in that form. But this one here is not that way. This painting has values, light through dark, throughout the whole painting. And mainly, you'll notice when I'm done with this painting that the background is what's brilliant and light, and the foreground is the darker value. And basically, my composition is the forms that have that dark value. However, and I will say however, when I hung this painting on the wall underneath the spotlights, and I will take a photograph of that and post it at the end of this video. What was amazing is that my forms that were the light background forms turned out to be the composition area in which was the focal point. The dark magenta and the sap green forms turned out to be secondary when you looked at the painting as a whole. Your eyes went for the white light areas first, and then the dark areas was the aftermath. And it is the background of light colors, including the titanium white, that made this painting stand out as being brilliant in color. You'll notice on the green lines, what I wind up doing is putting shadows in them. There will be a transition of light to dark right within the form. And this will also give you a 3D dimension when looking at the painting. Here I'm using the spatula, putting on the straight titanium white, putting it on neat. And as you'll see, this will actually make the magenta form pop. And I am doing my technique of overlaying some of that color over the forms. And here I'm putting on my purple acrylic paint. This I made with the ultramarine blue and my cadmium red medium and titanium white blended together. And just to have a little here and there of the turquoise blue, I thought that would also add to the painting's brilliance. And that color there is the cobalt going in, cobalt blue. And you'll notice I'm not putting, and that's the rose, the pink color, I'm not putting in too much of those colors, just a little bit here and there. But this is my finishing touch to the painting. But try this technique. You can do it. Just get out your paint brushes and your paint, your spatula knife, and go for it. This canvas is a 30 by 30. The series that I'm doing on these abstracts are all 30 by 30. And notice when I'm adding, of course, my titanium white. And there I've got some of the cadmium yellow and white mixture with a little bit of the orange. It also is going to add some more brilliance to that painting. I just love the look of it. I think it's colorful. I'll have to do more like this. Makes me happy. And thank you very much for being here. I'll show you some close-ups next. And I hope you subscribe if you haven't already, so you get notice when I do my next paintings. Thank you, and have a great day. This is the painting in daylight. And this is the painting in a room with the spotlight on it. And following are the close-ups. Please notice the heaviness of the texture, which is the glaze that's underneath the paint. Beautiful.